I'm Rachel from the Analytical Mommy, and this video is long overdue, so I'm excited to share it with you. What I'm going to show you how to do today is how to center your design, your text, whatever it might be, on your material, or in this case, a blank that you want to work with. Now, if you're doing lots of them, the best thing for you to do is going to be to create some sort of jig. But if you're just doing one-offs, then chances are you're not going to make a jig for just one or two or even three items. So this is really the easiest way to center something um, as closely as possible and do it pretty quickly. So I've got a wooden like business card in the machine here. I'm working with a Glowforge Aura, but this will work for a Glowforge Plus and a Pro, and probably lots of other machines as well. Now, if you have any questions as I go through this process, please just leave a comment. I'll do my best to answer it. But if you find this useful and you'd like to just see some of my other tutorials, be sure to subscribe and share this with a friend that might find it helpful too. So let's get into it. I'm going to show you what to do with this business card. First thing I'm going to want to do is set focus. So we're going to click on these three dots over here and go to set focus, and then just click somewhere on the center of your blank. And that's going to make sure that the image you're looking at in the machine is as accurate as possible, which is really going to help with this process. And then, of course, it's going to be important to do when you go to print anyway. So better to do it before we add everything on to the blank. All right, so it still says focusing. Let's give that just a minute to finish that process. And when it's ready, we'll go to the next step. All right, now that it's finished focusing on it, what we're going to do is we're going to add a rectangle or anything that's the shape of your blank, but in this case, a rectangle around the blank. So click on these little shape icons over here, click on the square, and then we're going to reshape this to match what we're working with. Now, the best thing to do really is to measure your blank and adjust the shape according to your measurements. So let me go measure my blank real quick, and I'm going to come back and show you what to do next. All right, so the height of my business card is 2.0, let's see, 2.06. So you're going to come down here to this little ruler, and over here where it says height, you're going to switch that, or I'm going to switch that to 2.06. All right, now that's got our height set up. And if you notice when you do that, that it shifts the whole thing together, you're going to want to toggle this little lock icon over here. That locks the aspect ratio. And since we're turning a square into a rectangle, we don't want that locked. In my case, it's already unlocked, so we're good to go there. Now I'm just going to measure the width of the blank that I've got. And that width is 3.35. 3.35. And I'm doing this, I'm measuring with digital calipers, which makes this really, really easy. Let me just double check my measurements again. 2.11. So let me adjust. I got the height wrong. All right. So now I've got the exact measurements of my blank, and it's helpful to do that on the actual item, not in the app. Because if your item is out of alignment or angled or whatever that might be, then you're not going to get an accurate shape and dimensions off of it. So either take the dimensions that were published on the blank or measure it yourself. All right, now all I'm going to do is overlay this rectangle over my blank, and that looks pretty good there. So now we've got basically a digital version of the blank. Now you're going to see why in this next step, why this step is so useful. So let's say, for example, I wanted to add some sort of shape on it. So let's see, I will add Um, let's see. It's almost Halloween. So let's look for something that's Halloween related. I love having this library in here. This makes this sort of thing just so super easy. Let's go. This little guy. All right. So let's say we wanted to put this pumpkin and engrave this pumpkin on my card. I could stretch it out how I might want it. And I'm actually going to switch this to score. All right. So now I've got a shape. I've got my essentially my virtual blank here. And all we're going to do is you're going to select both items and come over here. This is our little alignment tool. I'm going to click over here and you're going to do center and middle. And now all you have to do is you check again that this rectangle is still in the right spot. You want to make sure that when you did that little activity that, when you center, that it didn't move the rectangle. But if it did, if it moved the rectangle, let's say you ended up over here, all you have to do is make sure that you're grabbing both pieces together, put it back where it belongs. Let's see if that's good. And then you're good. All right. Now we've got our little pumpkin centered on the card, centered within the rectangle. And we can go to print. All you want to do at this point is either delete this rectangle or set it to ignore. I recommend setting it to ignore because you may want to do multiples of this card. And if you do, it's really nice to have everything already set up and ready to go. So over here under edit settings, you're just going to click on ignore. And so it's not going to do anything with that rectangle. It's going to ignore it, but it is going to score our little pumpkin. So let's go ahead and score that. All right, it's done printing, and as you can see, it is perfectly centered. I would not have been able to eyeball this, and this is very repeatable. So whether you've got a circle, like little rounds or ornaments, or you've got squares or keychains or whatever it is, this technique is going to work for you every single time. I hope you found this useful. If you have any questions, comment below, and don't forget to subscribe and share with anyone who might find this useful.